My name is Jaylah Hartsfield. I'm a junior at Wesley College and I graduated in 2022.
My name is Isiah Mitchell. So I'm a senior at Wesley College. I played football.
My name is Hanna Giaccone. I'm a junior in the classroom and a freshman on lacrosse field.
Kayla Allen. I'm a senior and I'll be graduating in 2021.
When coming into the college process, Wesley was the only school I toured. As soon as I toured, I knew that this is where I should go. It just felt like home to me. Everybody was so welcoming, and my sister was an alumni, and watching her play all 4 years, both field hockey and lacrosse, both the sports I play, and seeing just the culture here made me want to be a part of it.
Originally, everybody was saying that it was supposed to be Wesley and DSU joining together, not DSU buying Wesley and just taking over completely.
So, at first, when I thought when anybody to me really thinks of Wesley, as far as football, I think of Coach Drass. So that's the first thing I thought. What would he have done? Would he have even let the school get shut down?
So far, we, the students, at least I, have had little to no information about what class sizes may look like to us. One thing I do know is they're saying maybe by April we'll be able to have our classes. So hopefully there will be, spots for us. Everything will be good and everything should be, okay on that end, since we're used to picking out classes months earlier. So hopefully we'll be able to get that all sorted out, and class sizes should relatively remain small or should increase too much in size from what we're used to.
In my situation, it'll definitely be more difficult as far as credits and stuff like that. Hoping they transfer over.
My teammates and the people I've met at Wesley are the reason that made the school as great as it is. So my teammates understand my whole situation with my knee and how it affects me on the field. So definitely going to a new school and having to find the connection that I have with the teammates I have now with a whole new team, that's definitely going to affect me a lot, especially with my connection with my new coach that I'm going to have.
Well, I think mentally it does, just because I know that half of the people I've learned to know, students, professors, it's just going to be a big transition for them, and I don't feel that it's fair that everybody has to go through it and that lives were spread around. So
my daughter's about 2, so I didn't have, when I transferred here, I was freshman or sophomore in college, redshirt freshman on the field if we're talking sports, and I didn't have to think about whether I had a +1 or where I wanted to go because I had a +1. So now that's something I have to think of.
I think a lot of people would have had time to prepare, kids that maybe came to Wesley because they didn't want to go to DSU, or professors that could have looked for jobs a year ago instead of them still not knowing what jobs they were going to have in a couple months. So I think it would have given everybody an opportunity to plan accordingly and not just have it thrown on them.
I'm just more worried about increasing class sizes because I'm a student that needs smaller class sizes. That's one of the reasons why I came to Wesley, and with what DSU being a bigger population, that's probably the only thing that I could see worried and affecting me. As far as that, I feel like I'll be able to finish strong and be on time with everything that I need to do.
I'm also a person who daily struggles with mental health, and there hasn't been a time where I've reached out to a professor talking about my mental health and what I've struggled with, and where they haven't accommodated me or been it's all right, we'll get you back on track the next day, or I can go down and walk into any of their offices right now if I wanted to and talk to them, and just not even talk to them about school. I could talk to them about what's going on in my head, and they would just be there for me.
So I gotta just look and playing accountable. Who cares about me as far as everything? And that's hard to do. You can't just look at a book and tell what it's about. You gotta read it and open the cover. But yeah, in a short period of time, I think that's what most, not just my personal story, but most athletes are gonna struggle in finding that home, finding, the book that's for them, without necessarily having to read the first few paragraphs to figure what it's about, stepping on campus and seeing what the cast's about, the kids, other students, making them feel like home. There's so many things you have to look into.
It's gonna suck. I just feel bad for everybody. Nobody should have to be lied to and go through all this stuff, especially in a college. It's higher education. It should be a little bit more mature than this, but
I think it's definitely going to be hard for me and other students to build those connections and relationships to then further and feel comfortable enough to ask for help. And because of the connection and just the people who we are at Wesley, we are always going to look out for each other, whether at the end of the day, whether it's Wesley or DSU, it's that connection and bond will always be there. Wesley is known and has been known for their athletics and the success in the programs of athletics. And I don't think that's something that should ever be overlooked or something that people should ever forget about, because it took years to build, and yeah. Good luck.